when I'm trying to be clever or funny, I end up being a little more sarcastic and condescending than I would like to be. And if this was offensive to anyone, I do apologize. It didn't sit well with me, and I thought about it all night, and I pulled the video down, and I just didn't like the tone of it. And that's not the person that I would like to be. And if that was offensive to anyone, I do apologize. As well as the regards to the Fiskars brand. Many of you have wrote me that don't want to spend a ton of money on an axe and have had good experiences with that. And I would agree with you. That fits a need. It's an inexpensive tool, and it works well in some applications. And I was also a bit critical on that brand too. So I will make a special effort to be a little more open-minded and understanding in future videos and reviews, so I don't have to come here and eat crow on YouTube in front of all of you. So hope you enjoyed the review. I edited a couple different things, but essentially the same as the previous upload. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next video. Alright, pull up a chair. Today we're going to take a look at some of the quality axes that a person can buy. A good axe, a proper axe, is really hard to find, and I field more questions about that than anything else. Some guys don't want to go to the trouble of trying to scrounge an old quality made head and handle it and hang it themselves. They want to buy something outright. And I've just pulled up my favorite options here, and then a few that I don't like that you're going to run into all the time, and I'll explain why. So starting off, of course, we are at the Grand Force Bruks, the Swedish handmade, hand-forged axe site here. As you guys have seen in my videos, it's my preferred small axe. I have this one right here, the small forest axe, which is a great little all-around tool. I just use it all the time. Of course, they make very, very nice handmade axes, and you're just not going to find much finer than this. Price point, you're going to pay over $100 for these, anywhere between $100 and probably around $150 or so. And if I had my choice over what my favorites would be, because you need multiple axes, you know, one axe is not going to do every job you need, but I would start with the small forest axe. I really like that, and then I would go with the American felling axe, which is a full-size, roughly 5-pound head. And then I really would like to have one of these little hatchets too. I think that's nice. Or you could probably forgo the hatchet and go with a splitting maul if you don't have a wood splitter and you want to split wood by hand or have the capability. But you can't go wrong with these tools, and it's something that you're going to have that you're really, really going to treasure. When I have purchased mine and friends have got theirs, they were shaving sharp. Really, really nicely presented, and they come with a sheet. So highly recommended, but definitely on the higher price point. Alright, so here we are at the Best Made Axe site. Many of you guys have pointed this out to me or sent me links to it, and I've been aware of their axes for a long time. And what they essentially are is, as I found out recently, I do believe this to be true, that the Council Tool Axe, which I'll be showing in the future, here in the next few minutes, produces these heads, I believe. I've been told by a couple people, and that for this Best Made company. And they're just drop forged heads. They're expensive. You're looking at $135 for the boys axe, $158 for the American felling axe. For a drop forged head, and that just, you know, your standard hickory handle, that is very expensive. You can buy this same axe all day long from the Central Tool Company for around $50 or so. You know, this is not a real pure user's axe. This is something that is being marketed very well. It's kind of slick. They've got they offer them with all these paint jobs on them. You know, $300. They're just too expensive. You wouldn't want to use an axe that you paid that much for, but it would look nice hanging up. You know, I mean, actually, some of the paint schemes are not too bad, but it's more of a novelty. It's some slick marketing, but not something that what I would really truly consider for a working axe. I mean, you can just see here it's just, you know, something marketed to kind of an upscale crowd that, well, I think the thing speaks for itself. I don't need to go on about it. This is about a $50 axe being sold for $158, so that's what that is. So let's move on. Wunderling, another great Swedish axe company. Price point probably pretty close to Grand Force Brooks. Hand forged, very nice axes. You couldn't go wrong. I don't know if they're maybe just a bit less money. I think they're pretty close to Grand Force, but you can see here a nice selection. We've got the small axe and the wildlife. I'm probably looking at a hunting axe. You'll often see the word hunting axe. That's a pretty nice size for kind of an all-arounder. You can get two hands on it and do some real work with it, but you can still split kindling with it. You know, these longer ones, these 32 and 36 inch handles, you don't want to split kindling with those, because you have to choke up on the handle here real close. And what happens is you've got all that handle in the back, and if that hits anything or glances off, it will glance the blade and come back and chop your hand off. My grandfather's brother chopped a finger off that way, splitting wood with a full length, a 36 inch handled axe, and it's not advised, and definitely don't do it. But Wetterling, another great company. I've read and heard reports from many guys that I trust that these are excellent. I have not personally owned one, but I know from what I've heard that they're very good. Again, you're going to be over the $100 range most likely. Alright, so many of you guys have seen these, the Estwing axe. You can find these at Home Depot in the big box stores. And they make the real classic. I don't know if it's a full tang with the leather stacked handle. You see those all over. That they're okay. The steel is mediocre. I personally have this Camper's axe, and I bought it years ago before I had a clue. And what it is, I thought that it was full steel, and I thought, well, that's pretty good because Estwing hammers, they really hold up. But once I got it and used it, I can see that it's steel, and then it's bonded to a fiberglass handle here. Problem with these things is the fiberglass handle is going to break, and then the whole axe is just throwaway. You can't repair it. You can't put a wooden handle on it, and I don't like it. And the steel on them seems to be a little bit soft and does not hold an edge very well. As far as just a small, durable camp hatchet, like this Camper's axe, I think that would be great. They're going to be cheap, and they're super durable, no handle to break. And just for something that's really a beater, that's pretty hard to beat. Cold Steel also comes to mind. They have some small ones that are really affordable that would be good beaters. This stuff here, I don't know what this nonsense is. I don't know if they're double-headed or double-bitted Black Eagle hatchet. Those are silly. Stay away from those. I don't know if it looks like they're trying to jump on the Tomahawk bandwagon, but unless you're using this for killing people, then I don't see that it has a whole lot of purpose. So, all right, so let's move on. Oh, another product, another axe that I have looked at very closely and I'm pretty impressed with are the Stihl chainsaw axes. They have 4 different models. Looks like here I think I've seen all of them. They have the felling axe, which is a 2.2 pound cutting head, which is nice. It's a little bit lighter, and for most guys, unless you're really a gorilla, the 3.5 pound axe is a little bit nicer to work with than the 5 pounder. Then they make a really nice splitting maul, and the one that's my favorite is this little splitting. Well, I like all of them. Let's look at this one, the splitting hatchet. This is something I've almost bought myself many times, and I like it because it's got a nice broad head on it. Well, there you can see it. But it's got a real pronounced V in it. It's really good for splitting the wood. And I looked at them, and I know looks like they're German made, and they're very well put together, and they're very nice quality. They're expensive though. I think this one was in right around the $75 to $80 range. And when we start getting up into that range, I would prefer to have a handmade axe. Pay a little bit more, maybe $20 more, and get a Grand Force Brooks or Wetterling. But very nice. I have been impressed with those. And the splitting axe is nice too, because that's something that's almost impossible to find outside the custom-made axes. And you have seen me that I think that splitting firewood with a splitting axe is more effective than a splitting maul, unless you really have some gnarly stuff. But for most firewood splitting, for most people, this splitting axe is really nice. It's not so heavy, and it's got a nice taper on it, and I'm glad that they brought this out. 4.4 pounds, it says here, and that's a great weight for splitting. But you could not go wrong with these, and most, they're pretty easy to come by. Most still authorized saw shops, I've noticed, have carried 2 or 3 of these, and I think that would be a really good choice too. For the budget-minded, for a good USA-made axe, which is of course not hand-forged and up to the level of some of the other ones I've shown you, but the price point is excellent, and they've got an axe that really hits a nice sweet spot here. You'll see a lot of guys, bushcrafters and such, are talking about this one. It's the 3.5, 3.5 pound Jersey axe, and it's got a little bit shorter handle. Rather than the long 36-incher, it's got a 32-inch handle, which is really a nice all-around utility axe. And the price is great. I see here the list is $47.55. You can probably get it for maybe a little bit less than that, but it's made in USA and good handle, good quality hickory. Yeah, not machine made, but hand sharpened and very nice. And for the money, you can't beat it. But I do have one that will beat it. I'm not recommending you buy this one until we get to, wait till we get to the end. I want to show you one that's really interesting that I think is an amazing value for what you get. But this isn't bad. If you have one or come across one, you would not be a fool by purchasing it. Alright, so as far as the Fiskars brand, I'll stand by everything I said before. It's not a quality tool. It's a mass-produced tool with that's got a proprietary handle that can't be repaired. I had a lot of you guys, tons of people contacted me and railed on me about how much you like the axe and how long you've used it, and some women contacted me and said they liked it because of its lightweight. Okay, I don't know what else to say. It's not something you can repair. That's my main gripe against it. Once the handle breaks, and it will, they all do, whether it's wood or fiberglass, it's throwaway and it can't be repaired. From this project, as you guys that know, I like things that have longevity, things that can lend themselves to be repaired. If we find ourselves in a situation where times get tough and we don't have access to parts, a wood-handled axe or splitting maul or hatchet, any of us can go cut down a limb and give it enough time with a knife, get a handle made for it, and get it up and running again. Not so with this. That's why I don't like these things. For just a beater or something cheap, or if you didn't have any other choice, I can understand that. This ranks right up there with maybe the Gerber. Maybe the Gerber's a little bit less, but don't care for them. I had a Baco that was a similar style as this, but the heads actually it's a two-piece head, and they bolted together. And Mrs. Wrangler-Star bought it from me, and it looked like a nice quality tool, and I used it for a couple months and it broke. And I contacted them and I couldn't get a handle for it, and I thought never again. So I'll stick with the tried and true. So I do not like this for the reasons I've laid out. So as far as probably my most recommended, as far as an all-around the best bang for the buck, is this phenomenal deal by Husqvarna, the chainsaw manufacturer. They're offering 3 models, and these axes are Swedish-made, hand-forged. That's incredible for this price. Hand-forged with great handles and very sharp and just awesome little axes. $63.95 for the multi-purpose axe, $39 for the hatchet, $59 for the carpenter's axe. But this right here, I mean, this would suit. I could do just about everything with this. I really like it. It's got a just under 2 pounds. It's a little bit bigger than the small forest axe, but man, I can't believe that they can offer this at this price. And this is manufacturer's suggested retail price. Actually, it may be a little bit less on the street. If you can deal with having Husqvarna embossed on the side of your handle and on your axe head, then boy, that's an amazing deal. I have not seen one, but I've read up on it and did a little research for this video, and from what I can understand, that these are fantastic. And I've been purchasing many things from Husqvarna lately, safety equipment in particular for chainsaw use, that has been a phenomenal deal, and I've just really been happy with the quality and the price, everything they're offering. So if you wanted to buy one general purpose all around mid-sized axe, I would jump on that, because that is a nice little package right there. And then I'm going to save my favorite for last. Of course, you guys, if you don't know who John Neiman is, this is the high water mark for axes. Handmade. There are 3 guys that make these, hand forged. I mean, absolutely treasures. I don't own one. I haven't even seen one, and I would own one, but they're no longer taking orders. As I said, there's only 3 of them that are hand making these, one at a time. They make the handles, they make everything from scratch, and they are magnificent. They have an order page right here, but you'll see it's disabled because they are no longer taking orders, and they're not even stating when they're going to take them. And if you haven't watched their 3-part video series, The Making of a Tool, go to their website here, John Neiman, and look under their videos and watch those 3 videos where they make a timber framing chisel, an axe, and then a Damascus steel bushcrafting knife. And they are the most beautiful videos I've ever seen on YouTube, and have inspired and kind of how I make videos now, and I've kind of copied that format because I just liked it so well. But I'm kind of keeping an eye on the website, and hopefully when they catch up and they'll be taking orders someday, that I will get one of these, and I would proudly have this, and I'll share that with you. But man, these are so nice. So if you know of some other manufacturers out there that are making good axes for a good price, you know, roll those in the comments. You know, this isn't the be-all, end-all. These are just some of the ones that I'm aware of that I could speak to, and wanted to get that information out there, because this is a tool, essential tool that all you guys need to have. And it would be nice to have 3. It's nice to have a good, proper hatchet, a smaller axe, and then a felling axe, something larger in the 3.5 to 5 pound range, and then of course a splitting maul. But